Sawadee Krap, I'm JP Mestanza. It's February 10th. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by Worldwide Mayor Arun Solos has thrown his hat for re-election in the upcoming municipal elections on March 28th. Solos joins the incumbent mayors from Patong, Phuket Town, and Chulalongkorn, all of whom will run for re-election in the first municipal elections since the military coup of 2014. The Phuket office of the Election Commission of Thailand, the PEC, confirmed last Monday, February 1st, that all mayors and municipal councils in Phuket had been discharged from their official duties ahead of the municipal election, which will be held on March 28th, so they can start campaigning. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, who himself first seized power in a military coup, said today that he had received a letter from Myanmar's new junta leader asking for help to support democracy. Prayut, who overthrew an elected prime minister in 2014 and stayed in office after a 2019 election that his rival said was flawed, told reporters in Bangkok today that he had always supported democracy in the neighboring country of Myanmar. Min Aung Hlaing's army overthrew elected civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi on February 1st and detained her, alleging fraud in an election last year that her party won in a landslide. The Electoral Commission of Myanmar had dismissed the army's claims, and protests have erupted in the neighboring country. Prime Minister Prayut said today, quote, "We are supportive of the democratic process in Myanmar, but what is most important today is to maintain good relations because it impacts the people, the economy, border trade, particularly now." And he went on to say, "Thailand supports the democratic process. The rest is up to him to see how to proceed." For more, visit thephuket.news.com. The other day, the public health minister tried to allay comments and fears of a slow rollout of the vaccine here in Thailand, and he mentioned that the kingdom had several local vaccines in development. Well, one of them is set to begin human trials in March. The scheduled clinical trials will be for the vaccine developed by the government pharmaceutical organization, Mahidol University, and the Program for Appropriate Tech in Health, which has already seen positive results from animal testing. However, we've been here before, as last June, Chulalongkorn University had announced that human trials on their vaccine would take place in October. But by August, the university's director came out and said it had to be delayed because Thailand could not produce enough of it, and they had to use production manufacturers overseas. But all of those factories were at full capacity, trying to create vaccine or other programs. Since then, Chulalongkorn University Vaccine Research Director Kia Ruxrungtam came out last month and said that they expect to do their clinical trials in April, a month after the one developed by Mahidol and the GPO. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Phuket Extra, be right back after this. Welcome back to Phuket Extra. Remember the two gambling dens in Rayong province that were raided and had over a dozen COVID-positive gamblers spread the disease, leading to another big outbreak in late December? Well, 10 cops and administrative officials colluded to allow those gambling dens to operate in Rayong. The investigation into the gambling dens, of which there were two, both in large venues, owned by a single person, well, the probe was done by a special panel established by the Prime Minister in early January to look into how the gambling den was allowed to operate in that province. The police chief was even transferred just days after the raids in Rayong after saying it was not a gambling den. The illegal casino was in operation for over a year and had over 100 million baht in circulation at one point. But while all 10 cops and officials will be prosecuted under anti-money laundering laws, none of them have been named. Rayong was in lockdown for weeks after an explosion of cases there, all traced back to the gamblers there, and one reported death, a parking attendant at one of those illegal gambling dens. It was only one of several gambling dens that were linked to COVID outbreaks in Chanthaburi, Chonburi, Kolat, Nonthaburi, and even in Bangkok. Those investigations are still ongoing. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. One new COVID-19 death has been reported for Thailand today, a 65-year-old woman who had laryngeal cancer. There are 157 new cases today. The new total number is now 23,903. The death toll is now 80. 77% of total patients have recovered. Just over 80% of all COVID cases in Thailand have come in the last 2 months. Thank you again for joining us here today on Phuket Extra, brought to you by the lyrics below. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
คุณมองเห็นอะไรไหมครับถ้ามองไม่เห็นเดี๋ยวเราจะย้อนภาพให้ดูทีละมุมถ้ามองจากรถที่อยู่ด้านหน้าคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ตามมาด้วยความเร็วปกติถ้ามองจากคนที่นั่งอยู่ข้างทางคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ผ่านไปด้วยความเร็วปกติแต่ถ้ามองจากคนที่ขับรถตามหลังมอเตอร์ไซค์คันนี้มันติดไม่มีไฟท้ายก็เหมือนไม่มีคุณอยู่บนถนนตรวจสอบไฟท้ายให้ใช้งานได้อยู่เสมอ